see it. Blah blah. So wait, actually before that, we need to address a few things. So number one, Outlaws are running. What do I want? Maybe I'll just go for blue, right? So Outlaws are running a Doomfist because hydration. In short, this comp that they have right now is going to play really fast. Meanwhile, if you're the Shock, you're just kind of playing for shield break and for spam. So shield break and spam. The McCree for the Outlaws is just there for mainly frontline control and additional damage, and that's basically it. So if you're Shocked, what you need to do is the moment that Doomfist goes in, you need to hard focus. So you need to hard focus this Doomfist the moment that he goes in. Because there's not really a lot of saves for this Doomfist. He's basically all in. And this is why I don't like Doomfist as a hero right now, unless you hard commit and just protecting this guy. And even then, a team that just hard focuses a Doomfist the moment he goes in is pretty much dead. On something else to note from Shock is, I would say that they didn't really do their homework, right? The moment that they saw hydration, I'm not sure, it's like, maybe they didn't see that, hey, this is the roster that they're gonna go in with, hydration is gonna be going in, they're probably going to be running Doomfist. Doomfist. So immediately I would have wanted something like a McCree. So McCree has a stun to deal with the Doomfist. You could also go for a Tracer, because the Tracer can chase around the Doomfist. It is a little bit harder for the Doomfist to get rid of / punch away. And you can just harass him as he's diving in, or before he even dives in, because you can just scout where this Doomfist is. Another option is a Sombra. A Sombra can hack the Doomfist. This, in fact, is something that the Outlaws did versus the Fuel, and what convinced me that yes, Doomfist is probably not that great of a hero. So anyway, it's still doable with, what do you call this? Tayo on Symmetra and Junkrat, Nero and Junkrat. Yeah, but you need a trap, or you need to be able to scout right away where this Doomfist is. Choi Hyun needs to tank the punch, and then somehow, some way, you need to prevent the Outlaws from going into you, because that's the game plan here, right? You put your Doomfist somewhere in the flank, likely up here. The hydration loves this spot, and then the moment that the Doomfist goes in, the rest of the Outlaws need to go in with him. Otherwise, like, hydration is going to die before he's even able to do anything about it. So if you're the Shock, you're just kiting. You're just hard kiting and just hoping that no one dies from the initiation of the Doomfist. And then after you hard focus the Doomfist, then you slowly walk in, spamming their shields, and so on. So they're looking for the map flip. The way they're positioning is not bad. They're, well, okay. Violet is kind of aggressive with this, which to me doesn't really make much sense. I think Choi Hyun should be over here looking, searching for this Doomfist, because the Doomfist, I don't think the Doomfist is gonna be. Wait, what the hell? Okay, I didn't see this on broadcast. The McCree is still here because he TP'd, I think. No, the Doomfist I think TP'd. Right? Hang on. I did not see this on broadcast. This makes this match a little bit more interesting. Okay. So TP goes out. He switches to McCree, goes main. Okay, so they're going for a sandwich. Yeah, they're going for an actual sandwich. So FD God, instead of Chohyubin, is scouting for this Doomfist, which is also fine. He can mess up his initiation with that. He can also get a very fortunate triple dink, right? So he is right here scouting for this Doomfist. And then, I'm not sure if they knew right away. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that they did. But they noticed that the McCree, there's still a Doomfist. So that means that the Doomfist either TP'd with the team and therefore could not be part of the rotation slash or rather did not switch out of Symmetra, therefore part of this rotation right here. Thus, this diva Chohyubin is actually looking for this McCree, who's rotating from main. Interesting. And then, as far as I recall, Tayo dies in this one. It's a little bit spooked. Hydration is a little bit spooked. I think if you're Troy, you're flying up to him, right? Flying up to this Doomfist. They immediately see Tayo and note that there's no Mei, so diving Tayo will actually net a confirmed kill for sure. Then Nero isn't even facing this fight. He's just busy trying to deal with Happy, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think okay, this is more or less like hindsight 2020 or 2020, yeah. But this McCree shouldn't be that fast enough to catch up with this rotation right here. Especially since they managed to scout out where Hydration was going to initiate from. So the Outlaws went all the way around. Hey, Gold. So the Outlaws went all the way around because Happy was TPing them, and then Happy is going to try and sandwich. And then this is going to go down here. But I don't think you should be dealing with this McCree at all. I think the moment that you note that they're missing one guy and they don't have a Mei, you either hard int, but with your comp, I guess you just hard spam, and then you have Chohyubin busy just DMing this guy, right? So Troy needs to go over here and block the Doomfist. You need to ignore this McCree, and then you hard into the. And then you basically take the 5v3 or 5v4 of the Outlaws. Yeah. Because they 100% know that Happy's here. That's why Nero's not paying attention to this fight over here. And that's why they're so what do you call this? They're so confident. The Outlaws are so confident in just rushing in and going in here, not just because there's no Mei to make an ice wall over here, or rather, I should be read. There's no Mei to make an ice wall over here for the shock, but also because there's not really a lot of spam coming in from their Junkrat. Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense. That's why Tayo dies. It was that immortality field is a little bit late. They almost killed the Doomfist, but I think it's too late. So Doomfist is Imba, blah blah blah, not really. Okay, so if you're retaking, okay, shock go for the McCree, which is fine. I think you could have maybe switched out of this into a Sombra. Oops, it's not how you spell Sombra. I think you go for a Sombra, a Tracer, or a Mei. Sombra, obviously you're gonna hack things. Tracer, as I explained earlier, you're gonna be chasing around this Doomfist. And as for Mei, the job of the Mei is just to wall off the enemy team, right? So if the Outlaws are over here and the Doomfist is over here, obviously, and you guys are over here, obviously Doomfist is gonna engage like this, midway between this and this. So the idea is to wall off the rest of the team while you deal with this Doomfist, regroup, and then re-engage. Hopefully before the Doomfist actually does anything, or the Outlaws manage to break your ice wall. In. Jangu predicts correctly that Super was just gonna go for this combination, standard combination of Fire Strike into Window. Jangu just goes for a Shatter. They die. Also worth noting that Happy goes for this really long flying. Right? Oh wait. Yeah, he actually goes for that really long flank. Interesting. Yep. I don't know. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what the advantage is if you do this. I mean, it's not even scouting. If you're scouting, then you're gonna die. The enemy team is just gonna speed into you and you die. So that's not what he's trying to do. He's definitely trying to go for kills. But I don't know, man. This seems so slow. Seems super slow. I mean, he gets kills, but that's mostly because his team is already finishing off. So, I don't know if I agree with it. I don't know if I agree with it, or if it would have done anything different if they didn't go for it. Okay. Okay, this I wanna see. I wanna see why or how. Okay, FD God is playing aggro. I don't know why. I wanna see how or why they die here.
Time to raise my AP.
What? Okay, so basically Super.
Hey.
Hey, thank you, Capital. Thank you for the follow. But basically, he just drops his shield.
Draw.
Time to raise my AP.
Yeah, he just drops his shield for some god knows what reason. Bruh, what the hell? Okay. So we go forward. Yada yada yada. High Noon comes out. This was so weird on broadcast because they weren't even being booped by this guy, right? At least I don't think so.
Draw.
No, he just drops his shield. For some reason, he just drops his shield. It makes no sense. Juby's not even looking to boop this guy. He's trying to duel FD God. Maybe lag? Perhaps, but I mean, okay. So they're going forward. Blah blah blah. They hear the Deadeye. The call is to back off. They're backing off. Or at the very least LOSing this thing, so yeah. This is weird. this was just weird on broadcast. It didn't make sense. The call was clearly to just LOS this thing and play passive. So you're never putting down a shield, or you're backing off completely to here. Right? Nero is just going to back off with you. And that's it. You're good. In fact, I expect that these guys are going to be Deadeye. They're going to be killed by this Deadeye because Juby is going for this boop into them. Right? So yeah, that was weird. That was weird. That was just an unforced error on San Francisco's heart. It didn't make any goddamn sense. Okay. Okay, so they kind of know that this Doomfist is always going to be up here. So my question is, why not? I've never seen this. What the hell? There's a tunnel thingy up here? Anyway, not gonna be distracted. So, you know that the Doomfist is always going to position himself over here. So, why not just go upstairs and clear it? There is definitely a possibility of them just rotating all the way around, but you can turn around for that, and then your McCree conceivably can just stun the Doomfist, right? So you go all the way up here, go upstairs. The Outlaws might rotate with you to meet you, but you can turn around. It's gonna be difficult, but at least you kind of displace this Doomfist from this perch, and now he has to play either over here or on the point, which makes him a little bit more predictable. And you don't have to send a Lucio or a Diva up here to check. So yeah. Okay. Just goes in. Oh, they've timed that really well though. I mean, Tayo's job is to just stun the Doomfist forehead, but Piggy, this is really synchronized. See, his hydration goes down. The moment that he goes for the slam, automatically Piggy is on him, DMing the living daylights out of hydration. This is why I kind of prefer a Mei. Because if they had a Mei, if Shock had a Mei, the moment that this movement happens, they wall it off. And then they kill hydration. I understand that Nero has his ult, but I would prefer something that just deals with the main win condition of the Outlaws, because this is their main win condition. Happy is there to protect the Rhine, to protect the front line, and maybe add some damage. Honestly, Piggy and Jangu are probably the best rookie tank line. I kind of agree. I mean, Jangu earlier predicted that they were going to go for that far strike window and just instantly went for a shatter, no questions. And then Piggy knows exactly when their Doomfist is just going to engage. So automatically, the moment that he saw he was dropping down, he's DMing the living daylights out of hydration so that he doesn't get stunned. And it sucks for Tayo because, like, what the hell do you do about this? You can't even do shit. Oh no. So yeah, that's why I'm not really in agreement with this. I think they should have switched sooner to a Mei. Because yeah, you can DM it. You can still DM it as Piggy. You have to go all the way up though to protect hydration, and there's a very good chance that hydration is going to be blocked from the rest of your team's LOS, giving you time to burst down the Doomfist. And then you're gonna be hunky-dory after that. Good thing is that no one gets killed by that punch, and they finally kill hydration. Little bit late on that window, but that's fine. They can still stall the point. They have a lot of spam. They also have Deadeye, which they also commit. That is such an unlucky boop. Nero is trying to kill Happy with the old left click into mines, but it just booped them up. Okay. It's fascinating though how much they commit. Honestly, Nero just switches Doom and plays counter Doom. You could also do that, but why? Why? Just play Mei or play Sombra or something that just blocks or makes this team not go forward into you as their Doomfist goes forward. But yes, like Outlaws just commit a lot of ults just so that they can maybe stall this. Because right now Shock are very desperate to just gain anything from this point. Super goes for the risky shatter, doesn't get cancelled and gets hydration, which was worth the viewership. Hell no. Good god. Okay, they need to play defensive. That's exactly what they do. Tayo goes for a Deadeye, cancels it because he senses happy. And if you're the Outlaws, you're just stabilizing, and then if you're the Shock, you're not pushing forward. This is why they couldn't prevent this rotation. Now I understand. They had to regroup and wait for the rest of the Shock to respawn, so they can't really camp this. That said, though, someone should be up here. Okay. I mean, come on, guys. Pattern recognition. Every single goddamn time that hydration initiates, it's from up here, nowhere else. He doesn't go from here or from here. Nah, it's always up there. So FD God needs to be up there, or Choryubin needs to be up there. Okay, so they Deadeye. In this situation, because they don't have Outlaws don't have Mei, and you kind of know that they don't have a Doomfist with this one. I think the proper play from the Shock is to just hard int. Like Choryubin is going to be doing what he can to be in front of Happy, and then the rest of the Shock just hard int into the Outlaws. Hopefully before the Doomfist can do anything. Right? The only person that's going to be watching for the Doomfist is probably Tayo and McCree. Because with a Junkrat and with a Junkrat on their composition, Shock should have enough damage to pierce right through this. They don't have a Mei to like be fearful of. They don't have a Junkrat. And in fact, there's not really a lot of damage coming from the Outlaws right now. Because Happy's not shooting, he's on Deadeye mode. Yeah, they figured this out later in the series, but I mean, you're the Shock, man. Your coach is probably one of the best coaches in the league, and we've seen the Shock adapt on the fly many times before, so this is just poor form from them. There's a lot of expectations from the Shock, not just because they two-peat, but because of how they're capable of winning 2 championships back to back. And the reason is because they're really smart, or at least they were really smart players, right? They could adapt on the fly. They were incredibly decisive with every single movement, every single push that they did, and yeah, they were just really indecisive in this one. Because Choryubin is already diving for this. So my question is, why aren't the rest of the Shock diving for this? The Doomfist, I mean, Hydration is a really good Doomfist, yeah. That's why they put him on that hero on this particular map. But if you just take the 6v5, I doubt that this Doomfist is actually going to do anything. So they don't. Hydration gets 2 free kills, and it's pretty much over after that. See, even if they window, right? Even if they say the call from the Shock is hard engage, the Outlaws respond to window. The window would have to be over here. On this particular spot where they just used it. right? It's gonna be right over here or right over here, which means that the shot can just go past, not even bother with it, not be even be afraid of it. So, yeah, they just played really poorly in this one. So to conclude, is Doomfist a good hero? I would say no. There's just so many things that happened in this particular match that made it such that the hero was broken. The shop didn't really deal with him at all, or they didn't deal with him properly.